West Michigan. It's easy to join. Just call or go to our website today. To join, call Life EMS toll-free now at 1-888-LIFE-EMS or simply go online to lifeems.com. Join today for this great value as membership drive ends soon.
You're listening to News Radio Wood 1300 and 1069 FM. Live from high atop Monroe Center in downtown Grand Rapids, we're talking about what matters most to you in West Michigan. Join the conversation now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on Wood Radio.
Welcome in. It is a big day and no shortage of news as we full speed barreling right along. And the updates on the way. Our good friend Dave Galloway, Heartland Home Mortgage, will join us talking about the recent installation. This is the chair of the Fed, Kevin Warsh, sworn in on Friday. What that means is President Trump tries to bring those interest rates down. Will we get it done? Find about that and what they expect to move and where things are going on the way, plus the latest headlines from around the world in your backyard.
News, weather, and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now, today's Big Three.
Yeah, the stories that matter most. Should be talking about these around water cool at the dinner table, no matter where you are. Powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. As I mentioned, Dave and the team ready to help you. And, of course, they've helped us. Bought the home, refinanced, home equity line of credit, and we save thousands each and every time. You know, it's interesting to me. We've had so many people tell us the same thing that listen to this program, and they can help you, too. They got a heart of a teacher. HHMLending.com. Find out how today when you reach out to Dave and the team. We're more than willing to go the extra mile to make sure that you are well taken care of. It's just what they do. HHMLending.com.
Number one.
President Trump and the Iran war back at it. U.S. launching new strikes in Iran. The forces there launching new self-defense strikes on Iranian missile sites and boats near the Strait of Hormuz this week, targeting threats amid a fragile ceasefire. The action there following Iranian drone and boat activity. In fact, they just tried to attack one of our tankers. Both sides reporting limited damages as peace talks continue. We'll see. We'll see how well they go. Meanwhile, the markets don't seem to mind at all. They got all this baked in as we see the prices and oil even staying steady. I mean, it's just a bit, but not much. E. Jean Carroll. Remember the woman that famously accused President Trump of trying to sexually assault her in a dressing room? I think it was at some sort of shopping. I don't remember what, Bergdorf or something, one of those, New York famous places. Anyway, the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ, has now opened a criminal investigation into E. Jean Carroll. Why? Because she lied on the stand. She perjured herself. Judge let all of that information into the case and did not let, in fact, the judge did not let her or the jury know that she lied. They would not let the defense use it in the case. Probe is led by a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in Chicago, focusing on her testimony. Third-party funding, by the way. This is another, anything a bit of impertinent. Ma'am, are you receiving any money to be a part of this lawsuit to go after President Trump? I don't know. From his enemies? You think that would have been pertinent information? In fact, she was. Reid Hoffman was funding the whole thing. And, of course, he's a rabid Trump deranged anti-Trumper. That's ever-Trumper, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. Don't you think we'd like to have some of that information to assess in the conversation of this lawsuit, this 30-year-old lawsuit? Oh, make it make sense. A CIA officer indicted, former anyway, for stealing 308 gold bars worth $40 million. Now, first of all, what a story. I immediately see this becoming some sort of, I don't know, Netflix special, maybe even a movie itself. Oceans, whatever number.
U.S. A former CIA senior officer is accused of secretly stashing 300 gold bars in his house that he brushed off as work-related expenses, according to court documents, and two people familiar with his employment history. Julia Ainsley is joining us.
$40 million worth of gold is work-related. Well, he wasn't working here. We know that much. Yeah, more on that story in just a moment. First, I give you a chance to weigh in if you'd like. Any of these topics of conversation and more this morning, just grab that phone, punch these numbers in, and let's roll.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Yeah, got the talkback feature ready for you as well. The iHeartRadio app. Wherever you download your podcasts, we love to have you there. But the talkback feature from our good friends at MKD Funeral Homes. Click that little microphone button, rant, rave, and sound off so we can hear from you. $40 million of gold. So what's this all look like? What's his defense? Is there? I mean, they're looting the ship.
Now at this exclusive reporting. Sorry, Julia. What?
I know. Hallie, when I first heard this tip, I didn't think it was real. And then the court documents spelled out that there was a man who was an employee of a government agency that was found with $40 million worth of gold bars in his home. If you're wondering how many gold bars that is, the court document says it's about 308. What my team here at NBC News, Dan DeLuce and Gary Grumbach and I found is that that man was not just an employee of any agency. He was a high-level official with top secret clearance in the CIA, and that he not only lied about what he was doing with this money, but that allegedly he also lied about his background, said that he graduated from a college he did not attend, that he went to a graduate school he did not attend, and that he had a pilot's license that the FAA said he did not have. So he was arrested last week, and he is now in detention facing these charges of lying about his background and perhaps knowingly embezzling American taxpayers' money. I want to read you a statement we just got in.
Sent into Washington. Let's get this guy elected. He's not different than any of those politicians. Embezzling taxpayer money. Did he know that he didn't have to do all he had to do? He didn't have to go to these links. He just didn't have to do all of this. He could have just opened up a Leering Center in Minneapolis.
From the CIA, saying that after a CIA internal investigation identified potential violations of the law, CIA Director John Ratcliffe referred the information to the FBI for a law enforcement investigation. The FBI is working closely with our partners at the CIA and the Department of Justice as we continue to investigate this matter fully. So, Hallie, we will be staying on this, but what this looks like is that this was someone who was given currency. He was even paid in cash and watches that he said needed to be used in order to pay for operations that he was in charge of. But rather than keeping it in his office, they found $40 million worth of this gold, as well as $2 million in cash and 35 luxury watches.
You know, I've heard of people, and maybe it's walking off from the job with a little extra paper, a little something out of the printer or something. Maybe you took a pen or a pencil. In fact, I've seen some of the younger guys take a little toilet paper, when they're some places you got to lock this up. But I've never seen $40 million worth of gold bars. Work-related experience. What kind of work are we talking about here? You can't make this stuff up, folks. And again, it's par for the course to illustrate the insanity that is the news these days. And unfortunately, a lot of it is becoming all too, like I said, all too common.
Alert, we just carried out a new wave of strikes in Iran. The Pentagon confirming to Fox that U.S. forces struck 4 Iranian drones posing a threat to the Strait. CENTCOM also bombing an Iranian military site that was seconds away from launching a 5th drone. We're told these strikes were purely defensive and intended to maintain the ceasefire, quote unquote. This comes just after the president called a high-stakes cabinet meeting at the White House today. The main topic, Iran. News alert, we just carried out a new wave of
By
strikes.
the way, that meeting, and I've got some of the audio video clips from that. You're gonna want to hear. It was another raucous meeting inside. So his cabinet meetings, they seem to go on, but not only that, because he does like to talk, but he's giving access in a way I don't think we've ever seen before, especially inside cabinet meetings. I can't be honest. I don't know how many cabinet meetings Joe Biden even attended himself, let alone gave access to with the, you know what I mean, with the press and whatnot. I mean, speaking of Biden too, today we've got this. Have you seen this? Look at this story that Jill Biden, absolutely terrified at that the debate where Joe's brain sort of blinked and he went off the rails. She thinks, or thought at the time, that he had some sort of serious medical situation happening. Again, it's interesting for me to hear this because she said, I'd never seen him before like this. Although I sort of doubt it because, you know, she's around him 24/7. To say you'd never seen him act that way at all is I think, sort of a bit of a fib anyway. But that is an interesting, another one floating around out there. We'll try and piece it all together. And again, tell you what's happening with interest rates. Dave will join us after the Fed Chair Kevin Warsh sworn in on Friday by Chief. No, it wasn't Chief. It should be Chief Justice. But Justice Thomas, Clarence Thomas, on Friday. That and much, much more as the markets move. And we do too, back after this.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, May 28th. I'm Robin Kaufman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. Former Michigan Attorney General Mike Cox is demanding Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson immediately release records tied to her past involvement with the Southern Poverty Law Center. This comes after her office responded to a Freedom of Information Act request with a nearly $10,000 fee and an estimated 6 to 8 week delay. Yet another terrible statistic involving Governor Whitmer's legacy: 55% of Michigan restaurants report a decline in March. That number is worse than the national average. And a new poll finds Michigan voters want more data center regulations. 55% of voters are opposed to a data center facility being built within 25 miles of their home. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight.
Okay, back after it, folks. Welcome in on the behind the scenes live stream. Let's see what we've got here. Good morning, locals, VIPs. Hemi Patriot Dean, good to see you. Thank you so much. Nana Teresa, Karen. Thank you. Panda. $40 million in gold bound for Ukraine or the Taliban. Yeah. I'm telling you. Very good point. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, let's see what else we got here on the Rumbles. SJ Duga, Jen Lynn, L. Waldron, Sheila. Thank you so much for being here. The Bookers are here today. Jason, Tammy, Troy, Katie, Sherry, Bruce. Thank you so much. You guys are Well, you're always here. You're always on top of it, and we always appreciate your support. I just want to say thank you. By the way, if you haven't done so yet today, go ahead and click share. We're going to put you in the running so that somebody by the end of the show wins today's Sharing is Caring contest. So anything inside the store at justinbarclay.com/store. And you feel free to go look around. There's all kinds of great tees, hoodies, mugs, and more. We get the Freedom Fam stuff. We got the FAFO, the Fool Around, Find Out gear, all of that inside the store. And love to get you some of that stuff. And you can buy it and support us if you'd like. But I will just tell you, if you're listening right now, you supporting this program by listening is it goes a long way. And sharing the program goes even further. So thank you for doing that. We do appreciate all of the help getting the word out there. Getting the word out. Okay. We got folks on the tube. We got folks on X as well, tubers. Xers, thank you so much for being here with us and hanging out. Back on the air in about a minute, if that. I get these new alerts from my camera that tell me now. A squirrel is walking on the railing of your deck. And we're fighting the squirrels right now. But because of the bird feeders. I got raccoons and squirrels that we're fighting currently. Maybe I can post and share some of the videos, but I don't know about you. If you do we have this bird feeder. We have a couple in the backyard, but we have one of these bird feeders that sticks to the window of this big, glass window in the back of the house that lets us see out into a very wooded backyard. And it's got this bird feeder that sticks on the window, and the girls love to watch the birds fly in, and there's a squirrel or two that have obviously discovered this thing as well. That's the fight. The fight is on. Hang on. Oh, that's a great point. 40 million going to Ukraine or the Taliban or who else knows? Who else? Where else could it possibly be going? They have $40 million in gold bars. Remember Gold Bar Bob? Or didn't he have a bunch of bars like sewed into his clothing? And then there was a politician. If I remember, this guy down in Louisiana. Who was it? The guy down in Louisiana that got busted. It was during Katrina. And he had a bunch of cash. I mean, it may have been millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Either way, it was stuffed into the freezer, the icebox, or I think maybe even the fridge, in his house. Do you remember that? I distinctly remember, but I don't remember what the guy's name was. I have a hard time. Oh, it'll come to me, I'm sure, at some point. Maybe somebody will drop it in the chat here, but it'll come to me. Somebody just also, speaking of the chat, pointed this out. And this is a very good point as well. This E. Jean Carroll story and Reid Hoffman, the guy who bankrolled her lawsuit. Again, it was one of these attempts to get Trump. Reid Hoffman's in the Epstein files. Now, we don't hear about him.
This department, CNN is learning, has launched a new criminal investigation into one of Trump's enemies, E. Jean Carroll. Now, E. Jean Carroll was the former magazine columnist who accused President Donald Trump of sexual assault. Ended up being that he was liable for sexual abuse. The source is telling CNN that the investigation now is focused on whether Carroll committed perjury during her 2 civil lawsuits against the president. Paula Reed is breaking the story, and she's out front. And Paula, what else are you learning about this? I mean, there was obviously a verdict here.
That's right. And here, Aaron, this is the latest move by the Justice Department to take action against one of President Trump's long-standing foes. Our sources tell us that this investigation is focused on a 2022 deposition that Carroll gave, where she said that she had not received any outside funding. Now, her lawyers later told the judge that
the lie detector determined that was a lie.
She had, in fact, received funding for legal fees and expenses from billionaire Reid Hoffman.
Because how the heck else would you find somebody crazy enough or willing enough to go through and do these things? Don't forget, this whole case was based on the whole thing happened in New York. And, of course, a jury in New York had to overhear this. It was preposterous, all of it. And I love the find out era is happening. because now they're going in and they're surgically taking this thing apart, and now people are going to hear she's never going to get the money, by the way, that's been paid. She's supposed to be paid out. That's still hung up. And then on top of it, she may end up going to jail. And I love to see Reid Hoffman wrapped up in that as well. Follow the money, but I think this is just perjury right now. But this is how they get you. This is how they try to get Trump and everybody else that ever tell you. It's always like the penalty was in the process.
The judge overseeing this case ultimately said there were no issues with her credibility and blocked Trump lawyers from asking about this at trial. Now, Carroll currently has multiple legal battles with Trump currently pending, including one before the Supreme Court. And notably, Aaron, the Supreme Court has deferred 12 times on a decision whether they want to take up that case. Now, over at the Justice Department, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, I am told, has recused from this case because he worked on one of the appeals related to the Carroll case. Now, I'm told he has not attended any meetings or been in any discussions.
CNN is probably the worst channel to be reporting on this. There was, I have to go back and find this, but there is this horrific video of E. Jean Carroll, and I believe at the time was Anderson Cooper, and she's on his show, and it's so bad, the things that she says, I almost don't want to play, like, you know, maybe I'll play it for people behind the scenes live stream, but she says something so crazy. It's kind of too hot for radio. You almost question whether it's a real clip. Like, is this real? No, she actually said it. It was so bad that Anderson Cooper was like, that's it. We got to go to break because, you know, this our whole case is falling apart right here in front of. It's just, it really is. It's tough. It's tough to watch. But again, if you've been paying attention, none of this is a surprise to you. That's right. Anyway, we'll get to that and more coming up. And our good friend Dave Galloway joins us in moments right here to walk through some of the latest. Are those rates going to be coming down? I want to find out. We'll get the details coming up, folks, in just moments. But first, a big thanks to our friends, Kevin Yoder and the Yoder Real Estate team. I've been talking about these guys for years. They're experts. Speaking of which, we'll check in with Kevin maybe in the next week or so to talk about the market and how things are moving. Look, if you want to sign in the ground this summer, don't guess your way into the market. Kevin's got the answers. I mean, answers backed by years of experience, decades here in West Michigan, helping make it happen for people like you and me. Talk with Kevin Yoder first. His seller options review shows you exactly what your home could sell for, what to fix, and what to skip. Those are always the questions I have. And which selling path gives you the best shot at the result you want. Before you list with anyone else, call or text Kevin today at 616-303-5671. That's 616-303-5671. Or go online. Go online and talk to him today at soldbyyoder.com. That's soldbyyoder.com. Yoder Real Estate, brokered by LPT Realty.
Breaking down the story. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
Yes! iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live.
Go!
Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now.
Here we go. Here's that clip. I'm going to play it for you because I know we can handle it on the behind-the-scenes live stream here. The after show, the folks watching. And by the way, that's what you get by watching the behind-the-scenes live stream. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is ugly, but this is what she said. And again, you could tell CNN was kind of in on this because as soon as she said this wacky thing that she said, you just almost like disgusting. I mean, no, it's certainly disgusting, but almost like unimaginable. They cut. Let's cut the commercial. Hang on.
Right? I'm not the victim.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more.
He can't even compose himself. He can't believe what he's hearing. This is who they'd put up as that, supposed to be somebody who was so, credible. Whew. I mean, just absolutely disgusting, despicable. The whole thing. And again, this woman, it's very clear, has major mental health issues, and it's just abhorrent that they would even drag her in. I don't know if you go back to the origin of it, whether she had been telling this story for years or whether they had just found someone that it may have lined up, the accusations may have lined up for. But again, the news today, the DOJ is investigating her for perjury. And I will say, look, when they go through and they do these things federally, they've usually got a pretty good case on this stuff. And I would say that things aren't, they're not looking good for her. They're not looking good for her right now. But we are in the find out era. This is the era of accountability, and we need accountability. What we've allowed to happen, what we've allowed folks to get away with is unthinkable and a big part of the problem why we're in the mess we're in to begin with. So stand by, folks. We got much more to do. And coming up, we're going to find out what happens next with interest rates. At least the best guest, our good friend, Dave Galloway, jumping in with us. Let's test his line real quick before we go back on the air here in about 2-3 minutes. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Fantastic. Let's see. We lost your picture. You were sounding good. And then we lost the picture. So give him a second here. Now he lost his voice. Hang on. Let's see here. Lost it again. There we go. We got you back. Hey, we can always do it on the phone if we need a phone call if you need to, but you should be okay.
No, listen.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah, you have any suggestions on how to block phone calls coming into this?
You could do not disturb on your phone. Is that what's kicking you off? You're getting phone calls?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Where's the do not disturb?
If you're on an iPhone, you should just be able to swipe down and like in your settings there should be a little thing that says work, sleep, driving, fitness, personal, whatever, and you just click on the do not disturb part of it.
All right, let's do this.
That should cut them off. Stand by, folks. This is why we call it the behind the scenes live stream. Like I said, the good, the bad, the ugly, you get it all. You get it all right here. All right. About a minute left. Dave, did that work for you?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. All right. You look good. You sound good. If anything weird happens, I'll text you the number for the backup just in case.
Perfect.
All right, folks. Stand by. Of course, and this is one of the things we haven't talked about this at length. But Friday, the new Fed chair got sworn in. And so we've been talking about how Trump wants to see the rates drop. Will they finally see some movement there? And if so, how much? And if not, when? And what are the thoughts out there? We'll dig into it all, give you a chance to hear those out of our good friend Dave Galloway. So stand by. About 20 seconds left back here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, here we go.
Advisory services offered through Talent Private Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck, and you're listening to West Michigan Live with our good friend, Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
What's going to happen? I had a rotten head of the Fed, and now I have a great head of the Fed today. Kevin Warsh. Kevin was just sworn in today. He's great.
We just had this happen Friday. Kevin Warsh sworn in as the chair of the Fed. And dealing with Jay Powell, Jerome Powell, for a while. Trump's not a big fan. And I have this sneaky suspicion Jerome Powell also feels very similarly about President Trump. Anyway, Trump's wanted to see those rates drop. It's a big kind of part of the plan and what he's trying to do as things are seemingly being rearranged on that chessboard across the country and around the world as well right now as you watch these things coming through. Dave Galloway, our good friend from Heartland Home Mortgage, is with us right now, and Dave's got the latest. We're going to respond to this. Dave, I want you to tell us what you think about what you're hearing on the essentially on the streets on this, and where we think things are going to go. We going to get that interest rate drop at some point? Welcome in. Good morning.
Well, thanks for having me. And yeah, I think everything with the rates right now are, you saw the inflation report come in higher than expected. And it's about 100% in, relation to the Iran action. And so I think that's going to be the driving force. You see a lot of investors waiting and wanting to drop rates. And usually when you have some positive news without anything concrete, you see a reaction to the market, and it looks to drop a little bit and improve. And so, the market's waiting to give us some positive movement on interest rates, and we've seen a little bit over the past few days as the news is positive, but nothing solid yet, especially when you get those inflation reports that speak otherwise. But I believe that's once again all related to gas prices, right? I mean, that's driving up costs of food, and anything really. You got to ship it, and so the oil and gas is what's driving that right now.
Yeah, energy for sure is a big part of it. Although, as it feels like, who knows? I don't know. We've been hearing we're getting closer to a deal. The deal's going to happen each and every day, right? Markets just opened. Futures were up. We're actually down right now. S&P little change as traders evaluate oil rebound in line inflation. So we're looking at those things as we speak. And oil's up a little bit, but not much. It's actually down still from the last few days. I mean, we're at 90 for WTI. It looks like Brent is at 96. And so those numbers have come down. How long it takes to come and make a difference at the pump, that's a whole nother story. But we're actually seeing some of that move here locally and across the country, because we're down probably about 30 cents from the high of where it was. So that's good. But you still got diesel, which is up there. And as you're saying, Dave, I guess is what I'm hearing you really point out there, is that all these little things play in and make a difference.
Sure. And anytime, we woke up this morning and we heard of some new action as far as the tax and anything like that. Well, my guess would be that's what's driving the market today, right? Is you hear of action going on, or they're making some strikes, and so that's going to cause some stress on that market, and then it's going to have that effect. So yesterday we didn't necessarily have any of that. It changed today, and now you see the result of that this morning. Everything else is down. Oil's up a little bit. So it's been a formula that's been consistent. And then I'm sure if they can, hold off on any more tax, you'll see it kind of work opposite. So that's what we're watching daily. The good news is homes are still moving. There's still a demand. And historically, the rates really aren't terrible. If you look at over the past 20 years, these are pretty good rates. It's just the home prices have obviously come up just because of the demand. So it's still a situation where if you can get into a home, we don't see in West Michigan the demand on houses going down. So would prices come down? Not likely. So even if interest rates go down in the future, when they do, you're going to see home prices continue to rise.
Dave Galloway with us right now, Heartland Home Mortgage. Kevin Warsh actually sworn in the other day. Here's part of that.
My goal now is to create an environment in which the best people can do their life's best work. and to face every challenge in the spirit of common purpose and devotion to the national interest. In a word, to excellence. These duties are now mine, Mr. President, because of the trust you have placed in me. I accept them with gratitude and will strive every day to serve our fellow citizens well. And in final, I'll just say I'm going to look around and try to hold on to this special moment. But after we leave this stage, the real work begins.
You know, it's interesting as I see this kind of play out, and I wonder about the interest rates, Dave. And obviously, you said mortgage rates. They have a number of things that play into them. And I had a conversation with a realtor yesterday. Actually, our good friend Kevin Yoder was talking about there's a certain sweet spot where you kind of want mortgage rates to be at. You don't want to go too low, because it could cause an issue too. And so there's this like back and forth. In the long term, let's say the Iran thing gets straightened out. Now gas is like leveled out. And of course, let's say it goes back to where it was. It was like down in the $2, $2.50, $2.60, $2.75, a little, maybe $3 or less. And folks start to feel that, maybe diesel levels out. And then we get everything sort of rocking and rolling. We see interest rates coming down. What does that picture look like? How far can they go? And what do you see happening for that, like in the long term, if things really start to work out?
Yeah, I mean, Warsh is considered an inflation hawk, that he wants to really, cut it, stop inflation or limit it as much as possible. He's also a guy that has spoke openly that he wants to bring interest rates down in the near future. And I suppose you could consider that 12 to 18 months. He also believes that AI is going to have a big time effect on lowering inflation, which would then lead to the ability to drop interest rates. And so, it'll be initially AI has actually done the opposite, and inflation has gone up. But I think over time, you'll see with reduced costs and everything, it should bring inflation down. He seems to also be somebody who's not going to wait too long to act, as we've seen with Powell. He's been late to the game many times, both raising interest rates and bringing them back down. So seems to be a different strategy with him, and he's also got a lot of monetary policy that I think they would like to reform. But that remains, who knows if some of those drastic things happen. But I would say in the short term, I would agree with Kevin. If we can get into that low fives, high fours on a consistent basis, it's going to allow people that want to sell but don't want to get out of that 2%. They feel they can handle maybe bumping that interest rate a couple points to get a house that they may want or need to get bigger or move to a different location. And just kind of decrease some of this, stagnant part where people just can't let go of that current interest rate they have.
Yeah, there's a lot on the table for folks as they look at that. One of those things is you're sitting around the kitchen table thinking about how this is going to work out. You may have questions. You need to maybe pick up the phone and talk to somebody that you can trust. Dave is one of those folks. Dave Galloway and the team at Heartland Home Mortgage have been with us supporting the program for years now. And of course, you've heard his commentary and wisdom throughout it all, and a chance to get that personally from him. And when you're walking through that, now is probably best time. As I see Dave, let's say these rates do start coming down. In our market, I think things are going to start moving as well. If these rates come down, and I don't know how much it moves, but in West Michigan, housing prices and whatnot, I mean, they've stuck pretty solid, as from what I can tell, and I mean, we've done incredibly over the last few years. Just see how far things have jumped in our house, just looking at some of those things online and whatnot. But you start to think about what's that going to do. And I don't know about you, I'm not trying to like perfectly time anything, but if I think about how I think these things are going to run through, if you're thinking about moving right now, or you're thinking about buying your home or refinancing, whatever it might be, now is the time to do it. Because if you wait too long, the market's going to explode. There's it seems like right now, we'll have to talk to Kevin about this in the next week or two, but it seems like there's a lot of sort of pent up. They're just waiting for the right time to move. And I'd add in weather just broke here real nice, and we're like past Memorial Day. So I think things are going to start to really, really move here. So if that's the case, wouldn't that benefit me to do it now?
Yeah, I think you just more than waiting for the perfect time in the market, almost like a stock investor. If you wait till the perfect time to sell, you probably miss the perfect time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wait for interest rates to go down, you're probably going to see more of an increase in prices. And it's not an easy market in West Michigan for buyers because it's still very competitive, and houses are moving fast. And you're right, it will get even busier as interest rates go down. So, and that will drive prices up. So once again, if you feel like, hey, I think I want to look into buying something, it is a good time because you can always refinance when rates drop. But finding that home you want now, it's never too early to start looking if you think you're going to want to buy. But once again, trying to time the market perfect, usually you miss that. And from last June to this June, home prices in Kent County went up by 6%. So that's another gain that you have in equity there that you can work with, even if you're looking for maybe a home equity line of credit, or you're looking to refinance to make life more affordable. You've got some awesome equity there in West Michigan to work with. And yeah, we're seeing the number of homes that sold has gone down, but I think that's just an inventory thing that doesn't reflect any slowdown in the market because
Yeah.
the competition's still there, and it's a busy time, right? Like this is when school wraps up and people are looking, if they're going to move school districts, they want to be in that house by August, so they're ready to go when their kids get back to school.
Yeah, you make another good point, which is with everything else that right now, your interest rates on your credit cards are probably nightmarish if you're looking to do what we did at one point, home equity line of credit, get things under control a little bit better. That may be the way to go for folks, and I know you do those as well. You have a whole host of ways that you help people. Best way to do it is reach out and ask Dave personally or the folks there on the team, hhmlending.com, to find out how they can help you take advantage of these scenarios. Again, you're going to get that expert advice in person with him. Dave, always a pleasure talking to you. And we had to have you back on because I think I'm feeling things are going to be moving here, and we're going to want to hear what your take is on it in the very near future. But always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And obviously, for your listeners that come to us on a refinance, we're willing to cover the cost of the appraisal on that mortgage when it closes. And so, always worth at least checking into seeing what your options are at no risk.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Always helpful, folks. I'm going to tell you, faster, better than the big banks. That's always been our experience. Dave Galloway, Heartland Home Mortgage, hhmlending.com. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, back with more, folks. The Festus Tower and radio is just flying by. We'll make sure we cover it all after this.
FYI, like literally, it's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, May 28th. I'm Robin Poffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. A new poll finds Michigan voters want more data center regulations. 55% of voters are opposed to a data center facility being built within 25 miles of their home, while 33% of residents say they are open to it here in Michigan. Former Michigan AG Mike Cox demanding Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson immediately release her records tied to her past involvement with the disgraced Southern Poverty Law Center. In other news, yet another terrible statistic involving Democrat Governor Whitmer's legacy. 55% of Michigan restaurants reported decline in March. That number is worse than the national average. Same-store sales declined for 51% compared to 39% nationally. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Hi, I'm Congressman John Molinar. Although the crisis at the southern border is coming to an end, thanks to President Trump.
All right, folks. Like I said, never a dull moment. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. All right. I think I saw Dick say the guy's name was William Jefferson. The congressman with the freezer full of cash, and then somebody called in and said Charlie Rangel. So we're going to have to hang on. We're going to have to let's do a quick fact check on this. Okay. Let's see what Grok says. Grok says, it was William Jefferson. Dick Orrin for the win. Ding, 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 ding. Democrat, Louisiana's 2nd congressional district. 90,000, is that what it was? Wait a minute. Corruption. Agents caught on camera taking $100,000 in marked cash from an informant. Wait a minute. Grok is saying he served in Congress from 1991 until losing re-election in 2000. No other Louisiana congressman matches the freezer full of cash scandal. I think that's the one. Okay. Hang on, folks. Back on the air. Stand by. Here we go.
And to keep our country safe from the threats posed by the CCP. I've introduced legislation to stop the CCP from purchasing American farmland and to address.
Hang on. I think we still got about 45 seconds. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Got a heck of an after show planned for you coming up in just a moment. William Jefferson. I think of William Jefferson Clinton when I hear that name. But I don't know about you. He was in Washington, D.C. It wasn't Katrina related, Katie says. Okay, who was it with Katrina? Am I mixing something up? I kind of feel like I am. Stand by, folks.
Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com.
That's autolaw.com.
All right, so we got a little bit of controversy here on the phone. Somebody thinks a guy with the freezer full of cash, the politician, was Charlie Rangel. And then Dick over on the chat, Dick says he thinks it was William Jefferson. And Grok says William Jefferson was caught on tape taking $100,000 in marked cash from an informant. They found about $90,000 in his Virginia home. And I kind of remember that, too. Now, they found it, like, wrapped in aluminum foil and stuffed inside frozen food containers, like a pie crust box. But who got caught during Katrina? Maybe I'm conflating a couple of stories here. Somebody in the chat also said, yeah, that didn't happen in Louisiana. That was another scenario. Anyway, we'll see if we can get an answer maybe before the show's up here. And if we don't, we'll take it into the after show, but first, step by step. The next step is to talk about the Good Feet store, and your next step is to walk into the Good Feet store today. I'm telling you, we were at the pool yesterday having fun, having a blast with the girls, and it's the fun of summer that I just don't want you to miss out. I can't think of it by myself of missing out on all of these things that, we wait forever throughout the winter to get to. Then finally we're here. Just don't miss out on it. I mean, it's like the weather broke Monday, right? Like everything shifted, everything changed. And that could be the way things work for you in your life. Whether you putting it off, whether it's a hobby or something at work, or maybe it's just to be able to get out and enjoy that time with the kids or grandkids again. Get back on your feet with comfort and confidence at the Good Feet store. 28th Street, right in front of Costco. In Portage on Westnedge, in front of Kohl's. And if you're like me, you can you get fun, whether it's in the sun or in the pool, no matter where you are. From the Good Feet store. All right. This just happened this morning. The mayor race in L.A. is next Tuesday. Spencer Pratt has raised more money. I mean, a record. I've never seen this much. More money than Karen Bass and his Nithya Raman, the competitors combined. From April 19th to May 16th, this is a massive fundraising effort. Folks are getting out and getting involved.
It's $2.72 million. Nithya, who is the progressive, she has raised $400,000, and then Karen Bass $283,000. Where are you getting the money? There are three of you in the race, and there could be a runoff. One of you has to get 50%, and this polls are not showing that anyone is close to that.
Correct. So first off, the reason why all that money was raised, that was right after the debate. And they saw me destroy these two terrible politicians for an hour straight. And everybody realized, oh, finally somebody telling the truth. So that's where all the money came from. And a lot of it's from all over the country because people forget over 50,000 people a year leave Los Angeles because it's so terrible.
First time ever. More people leaving than coming.
So these people see that I'm saying why they left. So they're trying to get me elected so they can move back. That's what people are missing. These are actually former Angelinos that got forced out of this city that Mayor Bass has destroyed.
It really is something. We've seen that here in Michigan, too. We're no stranger to some of those things happening here. Here is more.
Side of the country is because all I focus on is the truth. I'm the look around candidate. I do basics. I don't do national politics. I don't do parties. I just say, look, they're stealing all of our tax money to give it to drug addicts, to have needles and tourniquets, and they're actually even selling the drugs to these addicts to let these people die on our sidewalks. I want to be the compassionate one, get these people mandatory treatment, medical treatment with doctors to help them get off of fentanyl and super meth, and that is what people actually want in LA. As much as everybody wanted to believe the people that have been in charge, my opponents combined are at almost 10 years of their experience, they are failures. And so people want an outsider that's not a politician, that's just saying the facts, the truth. These people have failed us. They've spent all of our tax money to increase problems. And
this is another reality TV. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Another reality TV show star running on getting back to reality, right? Truth, logic, and common sense. And he may have a really good shot in LA. Lots of folks pulling for Spencer Pratt. We're pulling for the after show. We'll fire that up in just moments. You can listen live the archive to any of these shows on the iHeartRadio app, wherever you download your podcast. In the meantime, we're streaming live at Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter, Locals, and YouTube. The Glenn Beck program is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Make it a great one. God bless.
Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. God is the kingdom, and our glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
WOOT Grand Rapids, WOOT FM Muskegon. The news is next on Wood Radio.
An iHeart radio station.
Guaranteed human.
900. All right, I'm getting some interesting messages in the chat. Let me get to those. If you haven't clicked shared yet, do that over on Facebook, or even if you're watching on Rumble or YouTube or X or Getter, no matter where you are, Locals even, make sure you click share on Facebook. Just go into your account and click share. Helps us get the word out. You can share it into groups. You can share it all kinds of different places. And every time you share, you actually get another credit for an entry into today's drawing. Sharing is caring. Help us boost the algorithm, cut through the noise, and deliver the truth, logic, and common sense to the people who need it most. All right. Do it for the children, folks, right? Just do it for the children. Here we go. Let's get this party started. The after show, the show after the show. Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay. Welcome into the after show. That's the show after the show. That's why we call it the after show. It's never a dull moment. Never enough time to get to all the stories that we want to do every day. That's why we started this for you. You asked for the people, giving them what they want, what you demanded. So here we are, folks. And thank you for being here with us. Now, if you haven't clicked share yet today, you can. Get in the running. Got some great gear at the Justin store, justinbarclay.com/store. Tees, hoodies, mugs, and more. We even had a Gulf of America a beach bag. That is sold out. I'm working hard to get that back into stock if I can. And the America 250 gear is coming fast and furious. So for Father's Day, and you name it, you're going to want to get it done. I'm telling you, stand by, because it's going to be glorious. That's probably the best way to put it. If you're into supporting Patriots, one of that's actually running for governor in Minnesota and pulling rather well, our good friend Mike Lindell. The MyPillow mattress, Memorial Day mattress sale still underway. Save 50% off right now and get free shipping on these mattresses. And I've seen a lot of orders go through. People are loving this discount. Man, I wish we just had to buy another mattress for our little girls. And I'm telling you, I wish I had the sale because we would have cleaned up. 50% off and free shipping. Plus, they got the energy drinks. They've got all the good stuff inside the mystore.com/Justin or mypillow.com/Justin. Great gear as well. Take advantage. Get the free shipping on orders, $100 or more, whether it's towels for the beach this summer. I love their towels. They have the best towels. But you can help support Mike and this program at the same time while you're doing it. mypillow.com/Justin or mystore.com/Justin. And don't forget, America 250 sale happening right now. It's huge at My Pure Health Solutions. Go to healthwithjustin.com. You know, I'm down 40 pounds. My wife is down more than 40 pounds as well. And we are absolutely loving how we feel. It's incredible. And you can feel that well, too. Missy telling the story the other day when we talked to her about our latest Maha Missy update. In fact, keep a lookout. If you missed it, it'll drop as its own standalone podcast. You can help share that out, too. But the story about the truth of what's really happening with these ticks and the things that are happening right now, all of this news, it's breaking, and she breaks it down, walks through it, and why Bill Gates and the engineering and some of the other things and how to protect yourself and your family. Probably the most critical part anyway. But we shared about it. She's talking about somebody that she's dealing with the other day that's coming off all these medications, pre-diabetes and all. I mean, probably, I want to say the doctor wanted to put her on a new one, and not only did she not have to go on the new one, but they took her off for 2 or 3. It's just fantastic. People are seeing massive moves and shifts. And again, call her today and the team at My Pure Health Solutions, 269-964-4044. That's 269-964-4044. Maha Missy. She'd love to help you, I know. All right. I don't know if we're going to get an answer to this or not. I think I may be conflating people in my brain. There was a politician, and maybe that's the question. Who was the politician? Who was the politician that got caught with money during Hurricane Katrina hidden at the house? Let's see. It's just William Jones. But so there's nobody inside Louisiana or living in Louisiana. Rock's talking about. But the money was only found in Virginia. I remember a story where there was money found, I thought, in Louisiana. No, maybe I'm wrong. I had a feeling that was going to be the case. Maybe I'm just mixing a couple of stories up. I heard maybe there's something else. I thought I remembered they found it during Hurricane Katrina, but maybe the story's tied in some other way that I'm just not thinking about or aware of. Anyway, William Jefferson, Dick nailed it. You got it, Dick. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't have remembered that guy. So you nailed it. And Dick, you win a prize. In fact, I got something cool for you. Next time I see you, I'm going to give it to you. Or I can just pop it in the mail. But I think I might prefer seeing you next time. Dick and I are imbibers in the Leaf.
I'm talking about.
We enjoy the occasional, and especially right now, great weather for it. We've had, I've been living outside the last, I don't know about you, but I've just been living outside. So I do my best to catch up and stay up with the news, and you probably do the same thing. That's why these shows are so important. The after show and our show, just an hour or so a day, giving you enough time to sort of catch up with everything, then you go on about your life. That way you don't have to stick your head in the sand at any point in time like an ostrich and just like completely be unplugged. But you can also enjoy life too and not have to stress over it. Am I missing anything? We missed a whole host of things during Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday, including this little piece while we were out swimming at the pool and having fun. But he did a really fantastic job of honoring Tulsi Gabbard yesterday.
I want to express our tremendous gratitude to our outgoing Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's a terrific person, actually. Up with some findings that were pretty good. And Tulsi's worked tirelessly to restore trust and focus on the intelligence and with the intelligence community. They all respected her. They listened to her. She gave us leads that were pretty much, people thought they were dead and they weren't dead. They were right there. And she was able to expose a lot of things that we used at the FBI with Cash and with Todd and with JD and everybody else. It was amazing. She dramatically reformed the Office of Director of National Intelligence and cutting the staff by 40%, and she prevented countless terrorists and cartel members from entering the United States. She exposed mountains of evidence related to the Russia hoax, probably the greatest hoax in the history of our country. Although, when you look at the fraud coming out, there's a lot of them. Honestly, there's a lot of them. But the Russia hoax, a great hoax, a very dangerous hoax too. And revoked security clearances of officials involved, and she declassified numerous historic documents of special public interest, including related to the JFK and RFK assassinations, which everybody wanted to see. And we're now releasing a lot of things having to do with space. It's people are very interested in it. It actually became the number one topic. We're releasing a lot of information having to do with extraterrestrial things, and people are totally fascinated by it.
UFOs, the aliens, the little green men from Mars.
Amazing. I wasn't sure if they would enjoy it. It's literally trending number one. Can you believe it? So a lot of people out there are like it, but we're releasing all of that information. And Tulsi, we're praying for you and for your husband. Her husband's not feeling great, but he's going to feel great soon. You're going to get him better. And he's a wonderful guy, so just say hello and thank you for the great work you've done. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
A nice little send-off for her as she's stepping down to be with her. The husband has cancer. Was it a bone cancer? Is that what I read? Either way, it really is. She is saying I've devoted my life to service, but the one man I cannot step away from is the service now for my husband. And I just think that's incredible. By the way, there was more from this is the find out here, folks. We're smack dab in it. But there was more from the cabinet meeting, and not just clips from the cabinet meeting, but I'll try and get you some more find out clips before we wrap the after show here today. But this is Kelly Loeffler talking about how many they found in fraudulent PPP loans in the SBA, Small Business Association, post pandemic.
Really hurt by the fraud because they're some of our biggest taxpayers in the country. And they show up every day. They work hard to provide for their employees, to build their businesses. They're doing it the honest way. And they see fraudsters taking from the American people. It's taxpayer money. And so you think about, at the SBA, we found $200 billion in fraudulent PPP loans that the Biden administration tried to hide and forgive and sweep under the rug. We've turned the first $22 billion of that over to Treasury for collections and to DOJ for prosecution. Our Inspector General is already announcing that people are going to jail. There are jail sentences now being served. We've announced that 140,000 people have been been barred from ever getting SBA loans again, defrauding the government for about $9 billion. So we are going to continue our work under the great leadership of Vice President Vance and appreciate the partnership because it's really accelerated our ability to get the job done. But then just back to small businesses. We have record...
They're finding all kinds of fraud. All kinds of fraud, and a lot of that led by J.D. Vance. But again, these people, the find out era is here, folks. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Speaking of finding out, this is just a side note, but I saw this today, and I've dug into it fully, but maybe we'll do this tomorrow. Did you see this? Now, again, this is Mediaite, so I mean, I assume this is legit. She actually says a News Nation piece. Fidel Castro's daughter pressed on conspiracy theory Justin Trudeau is her half-brother. And I think she essentially said that he is. For years, we've heard rumors that Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, could be your half-brother. What do you think? Fernandez smiled and apparently unwilling to give up any family lore, she replied, the only thing I can say is that his mother used to visit the country very often. Huh? Well, that may be a tell then, the host filed. I guess that's a half answer. Yes, her guest responded. Huh? By the way, there's video of this. I'm not going to play the whole thing now. I just thought it was, well, that's news. And again, is it relevant for right now? I don't know, but it is interesting, isn't it? Something more in the Find Out file. I think we got to have to start a whole Find Out Files part of the episode here. In each segment we should do. I think some of these stories fit right nice. Kind of like the Rona Report. We have the Find Out Files. The Trump DOJ is now moving to question Fulton County, Georgia 2020 election workers as part of a huge fraud investigation. This is for the people who say, we're never going to find out anything. We're never going to know. Nothing's ever going to happen. There's never going to be an arrest. And I understand it because I feel the same frustration. Don't black pill, doom or gloom Chicken Little too fast and too far. Because it does appear that the investigation to something said people said will never take place has actually happened.
Where in Fulton County, Georgia, some poll workers and ballot counters from the 2020 presidential election could soon hear a knock on their doors. Federal prosecutors say when they have the names and the addresses of those election workers, investigators will try to talk to them. President Trump has long claimed without evidence that there was widespread voter fraud in Fulton County, and that contributed to his re-election loss to Joe Biden.
Yay.
Let's go live right now to CNN crime and justice correspondent Caitlin Polans, who's working the story for us. Caitlin, is the Justice Department going to get all these lists of election workers and their addresses?
Well, Wolf, that's going to be the big question in court. We're still waiting to see what a judge will do. What has happened here is that the Justice Department, they've made...
Wait a minute. Listen to that question. Is the Justice Department going to actually be able to investigate? That's essentially what he's saying. Like, this is some sort of obscene or absurd question. It's like, okay, there were shenanigans during this election. That's the allegation. Well, wouldn't we want to walk that through and see? Let's put it to bed and the rest, for here and out all time. There's nothing that happened. Let these people go talk to these election workers and figure this out. He's saying, essentially, the way the question's framed, that this is absurd, that they shouldn't be. What do you mean? Should the DOJ be able to do this? Absurd. No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be able to go ask questions. The Department of Justice shouldn't be able to investigate something? That's the way the question's framed. So, right from the start, Wolf's a little behind.
Clear they want to reopen and ask questions again about what happened in the 2020 election.
Well, I'll tell you the same thing that they always tell us. You got nothing to hide. There's nothing to see here. Then You got nothing to lose.
Especially in Fulton County, Georgia. That's the county that includes Atlanta, that Joe Biden won by more than 2/3 of the more than 500,000 votes there. It was a real wash of an election for Biden there. But Trump really does
was it?
want to continue.
Talking about a wash. You talking about the water main that broke in the middle of the night? Is that what we're talking about? Or the toilet or whatever, the pipe or whatever? Who knows? Does it even matter? It doesn't matter what it was. Whatever happened in the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden the votes changed. Everybody had to go home, and they got suitcases out and all that junk. None of this matters. This is like saying the science is settled, folks. Oh, the science is settled. This case is settled.
To say that the 2020 election was rigged.
We don't need to reopen any of this.
And now the Justice Department, they're going after thousands of names and addresses of these 2020 election workers.
And if there's nothing to see here, then everything will be fine. What's the problem? Like, the Justice Department shouldn't have this. I just imagine the world that these people live in.
At a hearing last week, that was where the judge was hearing about why the Justice Department actually may want these things. This election happened 6 years ago. That's out of the time frame where the Justice Department could bring voting-related federal criminal charges.
That's not true, because if there's a grand conspiracy case, madam, what a piece of work she is, then everything's still on the table. And I don't know. I have a hard time. I'd have to, because again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have my black robe and my wig on today. I can't tell you for sure, but I don't think there's a statute of limitations on treason.
They even would get to that point with a grand jury and a prosecutor there. His name is Will McComb. He said, "We are not sure what charges can be brought." And then he told the judge, "We don't know what they will tell us as far as what happened or what improprieties may or may not have happened in the 2020 election, and whether that is a continuing situation in this current election cycle or in the next election cycles for the Fulton County Board."
Again, I'm just going to say it. This is as easy as we can say it here. I think the simplest it can be. Let them cook. Let them go talk to the people. If it's a waste of time, there's nothing to see here, then fine, there's nothing to see here. Speaking of nothing to see here, John Solomon reporting, and this is a big one. The Biden administration, when they did the raid on Mar-a-Lago, knew that it was illegal. In fact, whistleblowers inside had said so.
Grace, I don't think so from the reporting I'm doing. Meanwhile, a lot of reaction to the story that we broke in the last 24 hours. President Trump himself reacted to it, socialized the story. But we now have a second piece of evidence that the Justice Department under Joe Biden knew that its raid on Mar-a-Lago was bad. A couple months ago, we told you that the FBI had memos saying that they did not believe they had probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago, but they did it anyways. They went into the president's home looking for allegedly classified documents.
Of course not. Solomon has followed this and so many other things that so many other media companies just won't touch. But of course they broke the law. Of course they should never have done. But once that toothpaste is out of tube, I need to put it.
Well, a couple days after that raid, one of Merrick Garland's top advisors, someone he personally brought in to make sure that they stayed ethical in their investigations of President Trump, wrote an email saying, "I don't believe we had the right to go raid Mar-a-Lago. In fact, I've been worrying about it ever since I found out about it." Why? As she noted, and as we reported at the time back in 2022, she believed President Trump may have declassified the documents before he left office and therefore had every right to possess those documents at Mar-a-Lago. That is a smoking gun. Those two documents together could potentially create an overt act in a conspiracy case alleging that President Trump's civil liberties were violated. That is exactly what Joe DeGenova and the team in Miami and Fort Pierce are looking at. Today, that team was in Washington meeting briefly with the Attorney General.
Again, this is the grand conspiracy case. And again, it's kind of like the RICO thing. Well, how many things get thrown into lumped in and they start unwinding? And really, I mean, you're talking about a web of deception that was meant to take down this president and the country. Don't forget, folks. And there's no statute of limitations on any of that stuff. And here you go. Not only did they not, they knew they shouldn't have done the raid. They didn't have the proper authority to do the raid. But also, President Trump had the proper authority to possess all the documents he possessed. Straight out of the Biden administration, straight out of Merrick Garland's, what I think is his number 2 guy. Speaking of Biden, this is funny. The find out era. Oh, boy. Jill Biden out there talking about how she was just really concerned for Joe.
Revealing just how alarmed she was watching Joe Biden during his horrendous 2024 debate performance.
She thought he stroked out. I mean, she said, I've never seen anything like this before, which I don't know if I buy, because I think Joe Biden was doing stuff like this all the time. I think they just hoped and prayed that he wouldn't do it on the stage.
In a new CBS interview that will air Sunday morning, Jill Biden says at one point she thought the president was having a stroke.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified, I was frightened, because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since.
I think he would be. She's saying she's never seen him like that since either. I think this is all BS. I think it's all baloney. She said, I wasn't horrified. I was frightened. If you saw your husband, the president of the United States, glitching out, not making any sense on the world stage in the debate with the man who you thought was evil, President Trump, you'd be a little bit horrified, wouldn't you? But they'd seen it before, over and over and over again. This whole thing's just a lie. I don't know what cover they're trying to do on Biden now, but I guess apparently he's fine. We haven't heard any updates on him lately, have we?
Never.
Or since?
Yes. Or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that?
No.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
But remember when she told him after the debate how great he did?
None of these people, by the way, none of these people make any sense. This is a great, Will Cain catching her in a great lie.
Oh, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
It was so weird, too, when she did this. It's like, good boy, Joe. You did so great today.
And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
Just get her some pink handcuffs or something. Get her something. Her and the mayor of L.A. and Joe and Fauci and the rest of them. I don't think there's a... Speaking of L.A., we talked about Spencer Pratt earlier today. This is fantastic. This is Spencer Pratt. You got to say, he's walking through a crowd of people in L.A., and it's hilarious. He absolutely destroys him with facts, but he's a man of the people, and he's out there confronting him and talking to him.
Don't listen to that. You're talking about drug addicts? Yeah.
When you literally have no experience.
Oh, what is Councilman Rama's experience? Making drug addicts next to kids at schools? Is that the experience like? She likes drug addicts in front of kids' schools.
Can you answer the question?
My experience is making sure moms are safe again. That's my priority.
You literally have no experience.
These people are letting drug addicts be in front of kids at schools.
I mean, he's right. I don't know. If you're talking about experience, these people that are in charge now, I don't want more of that. I want somebody who has absolutely zero experience with allowing LA to go to where it's gone to absolute crap. And this is the man who's saying, I don't know. It's really, to me, I don't think it's not that unthinkable that you'd have somebody who would stand up and say, maybe we shouldn't have homeless people and drug addicts and needles and feces strewn about there. And maybe when we have a fire, maybe we ought to use water and put it out. And this is going to change things in politics. I think he gets elected. I think he'll change LA. And when he does, it started with Trump, but I'm telling you, more and more people, average everyday people getting involved, getting active, are going to take their cities and this country back.
I have the experience to stop that. So that's my experience. Hello, sir. Have a great day. Oh, that's fine, dude. This guy likes drug addicts too. Right here in front of kids. That guy. This guy right there. It's people that are anti-me, like drug addicts in front of kids at parks. Straight comedy. It's a scary world. These people fight. They fight for literal drug addicts to be in front of kids at parks. People are nuts. It's crazy.
That's right. Right about one thing. People are nuts. It is Crazy. Speaking of nuts, maybe the craziest thing I've seen all day, and I'm going to leave you with this, has to be this video. This is a video that's gone mega viral, and it's wild. This woman is driving down the road. She's pulled over by a police officer. He claims he's seen her talking on her phone. Not only that, and he's not supposed to have her phone while she's driving, but she was holding it in her right hand. There's just one problem with that.
Why you're being pulled over? The city of Lake Worth today, we're doing an operation for distracted driver, and you drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating that phone. I mean, I saw you with the phone in your hand.
Not. So you want to just call this a day? Or?
You gotta roll that back, just so you know. She holds up her right arm that does not have a hand, and I don't know if she's got amputation or was born that way, but she does not have a right hand.
Manipulating that phone.
I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the cop, who then proceeds to go, "Well, no, I saw it," and he's like, "Well, you clearly that's not real."
I mean, I saw you with the phone in your hand.
Not. So you want to just call this a day? Or?
I don't want to call it a day. You had a hand up manipulating.
You just
the
said
phone.
my right hand.
Well, I thought I saw you with your right hand. You
so
had a
you
hand
didn't.
up. The right hand. I saw you manipulate.
So you didn't.
With the right hand, perhaps not, right? But I saw you manipulate.
Didn't.
I love how she just, every single time, she just goes, just shoves it up there like, dude, there's no hand. There's no hand here. And it gets better, by the way. He doubles down. It gets better. But I just, how could she even if she had the phone in her other hand, was she doing this to the wheel? Like, what did that look like?
With my right hand.
So are you
saying that you saw me with my right hand?
I know what I just said. I'm asking you now. Did you or not have your phone on your hand?
I did not.
You did not have your phone in your hand?
I did not.
Hand to God, you didn't have your phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
No. This might be my favorite. Hand to God.
The other hand to God. You don't have one in your hand.
Hand to God.
The other hand to God. Jesus. Oh.
Cool. You have your driver's license, registration, and insurance with you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That is the best video. And I honestly, I don't know what, this cop is never going to live this down, because I know his buddies. I know. They're going to be ruthless. They're going to be relentless on this guy. I got to hand it to her. She handled that much better than I would have. I know I probably would have. If I were her, I probably would have lost it. I don't know. I'm pretty patient. I got lots of respect for law enforcement. This is pretty wild. This is pretty blatant. Anyway, that story and more. We'll put everything up in the stack today. You can find it at justinbarclay.com. Thank you so much, as always, for being here with us. We appreciate all of your support. Join us in the VIP over on Locals and get all the premium extras. In fact, from this weekend, when I spoke at New Chapel, that message will be for VIP supporters only, starting and coming out today. So keep an eye out that if you're VIP Locals supporters, you're going to see that soon. Lots of extras, goodies, and more each and every day just for you. And we appreciate you joining the process with us, as always. God bless.
I'm Dr. Kirk Elliott, founder of Kirk Elliott Precious Metals. After being in the industry for more than a decade, I knew there was a better way. It's an exciting time to invest in gold and silver with the most significant bull market I've ever seen. But please don't overpay for your stuff. At KEPM, we focus on low-cost bullion only, and we don't charge a commission when you sell. We would love to connect with you, so call our office at 720-605-3900
or go to goldwithjustin.com today. Let's say congratulations to our winner today, Sharing and Caring Contest, Joe Perez out of Miami, Florida. Joe, thank you so much for sharing the show with us today and with everyone, obviously making a dent, making a difference, and getting the truth, logic, and common sense out to the folks who need it most. Appreciate you, folks. Talk to you soon. God bless.